Welcome to your homework on Tuesday. We have quite a bit of work to do. Be exciting though. Let's go ahead and start. So at the top, we're given a couple things. That RKH is 60 degrees. That BM is 130 degrees. And then BH is a diameter, which means L is a center. And that means that this angle is 60 degrees and this angle is 130 degrees. So the measure of KLH, 60 degrees. The measurement of BK, well, this is all 180. So if we take away 60, this will be 120 degrees. For MH, once again, this is 180, and that means that this is 130. I need 50 more, so that's 50 degrees. And then we need MLH. Well, I know that this is 50 degrees, so this must be 50 degrees. And then we have the major arc BKH. But since this is a diameter, it means it's going to cut this in half. So that's 180 degrees. And then MBK. So this is 130. This is 120. We just have to add that up, and that's 250 degrees. So complete the sentence. The measure of an arc of a circle is equal to the measure of the central angle. Oops, that cuts it off. Okay, the central angle that cuts it off. Sorry, it's a little sloppy. So the measure of an arc is equal to the central angle that cuts that arc off. Okay. Now we're going to learn a little bit of vocabulary down here. Some of it you know. So for example, this left one right here, this is called minor arc. So it's a piece of the circle that is less than half the circle. If you would like to use different words, you could. For example, what is half the circle? How many degrees is that? You could just say less than that, and that would work. Okay. When we do this one right here, it points to this. Okay, this is called a central angle. The central angle, really the only requirement is that the vertex is the center of the circle. Okay, so the vertex, or the middle letter in the angle, is also the center of the circle. So that's what that is. These are the two new things that we're going to learn. This, okay, is called a chord. Kind of like what you would play on a guitar, chord. Okay, so it connects these 2 points, right? So a chord connects 2 points on the circle. That's just what a chord is. So actually, this is a chord. Even though we know it by another name, we know it by a diameter, it's a special chord. It connects 2 points on the circle. This is not a chord. If you recall, this name for this is a radius. That's only connecting a point on the circle in the center. Okay? That is not a chord. And then last, we have another angle, but you notice the vertex is not the center. So this is not a central angle. It's called an inscribed angle. inscribed. So inscribed, like the word almost sounds like, means in, but it also means the vertex is on the circle. So the angle is inside the circle, and the vertex is on it. Okay, so these are two new vocabulary words you're going to need to know. Now if we look, they've set us up a proof here. And so we're going to know that the measure of BK is 140 degrees, and BH is a diameter. So you know how we start all proofs. Measure of BK equals 140, and BH is diameter. And the reason for that is given. So we write down the givens. You could write that on two separate lines if you wanted to. I was being greedy with my space. And we know that somewhere down here, the measure of angle BHK is equal to 1/2 the measure of BK. We don't know why, but we know that that's what we're going to prove. Okay, now we have to fill in the middle. So I do see a triangle here, because we want this angle right here. So we know that measurement of BK is 140. So we need to say that this is supposed to be, if it's half of 140, this is supposed to be 70. So I see this triangle, but I don't have much I can do with it yet. But I can tell you what this angle is, right? BLK. So the measure of angle BLK. Anybody know? It is going to be 140 degrees. Why? Because measure of arc equals measure of central angle. So what I put there, this equals 140 because the measure of an arc equals the measure of a central angle. And that means also that angle BLK plus angle KLH, what do those two have to equal? It's a straight line, so it's got to be 180 degrees. So we can go definition of linear pair. And by substituting 140 in here, we know that the measure of angle KLH equals 40 degrees. So this is 40 degrees. I feel like I'm going to run out of room here. Well, bear with me. So we also know that LK and LH are congruent. That's an L, not an angle. LK, LH. And the reason is radii are congruent. All right. And then we know, so we know that this is, let's see, triangle LKH is isosceles. Definition of isosceles. I think we have like 3 more steps to go, so I'm going to put them down here. Now this is important because it's isosceles. This angle and this angle are the same. So angle LKH is congruent to angle BHK. This angle right here and this angle right here are congruent. Why? Isosceles triangle theorem. So I abbreviated that with ISOS, the triangle theorem. And then we know that LKH plus BHK, these are all angles, plus KLH equals 180 degrees. Definition of triangle. Alright, but these two are the same thing. And we know that this is 40 degrees, so let's substitute some stuff in. Let's substitute this in for that. So we have 2 angle BHKs plus 40 equals 180. That's substitution. And so we have angle BHK equals 70 degrees. Let's simplify. Okay, if we know that this equals 70 degrees, then we know that it equals half of 140. So all of this to say, the measure of the inscribed angle is half of the arc. Alright, that is your homework this evening. Good luck with it, and we will